in that cash out round, and like you said, kind of gets to play Puppet Master, sometimes that team that ends up making it through in the 3v3 goes crazy.
They've been doing really well. We've been backing them every step of the way. And this is not the match that we're looking at. Not right yet. Not right yet. We're going to get down to that lower bracket match soon.
Thank you so much, Jerry. Dread, we find ourselves now in the first 3v3 of the day, stage number 1, and the winner of this is gonna find himself immediately with a golden ticket to stage number 3 in that cash out. Boboslapper already once had that chance to be up there in that top of that top 3 stage. Skywalkers, on the other hand, they're the first newly team here, and already surprising to see how far they have come.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, and going to be really interesting to see how they play through this 3v3, as lots of damage coming through on both sides here. Q finding himself in a really tough spot, though, is going to finally end up going down to Cyborg. Cyborg actually going to get a double kill onto Petric and Q as well. Petric was able to find Palma, but Cyborg taking out all 3 in the first 3v3 of the match.
There we go. Quick, easy, done, and quickly. Cyborg, again, massive player. He's had so many impactful plays in the first cycle that we've seen, and he's just going to continue his, let's say, road of... not destroying. The English word is missing right here. Domination. There we go. The road of domination. There, he's just going to continue his road of domination when it comes to kills. Again, Cyborg, really talented player. He's done a lot of damage, a lot of kills, a lot of impactful plays for Team Boboslapper already in the first cycle. But Skywalkers, they find themselves back into the game, and the one thing that we know, Boboslapper, they're really good at controlling a cash when it's under their possession. So Skywalkers, they're really going to have to make a lot of work here to swap this one to their name.
Yeah, and Boboslurpers are in a really good spot, too. This is kind of a tough cash out to fight into just because of where they're sitting. But look at Emilian just sitting in Invis there, just trying to line up his sights with the LH1 to get some damage. Gets a little bit of damage on them as they drop down, as they were trying to kind of steal it through the floor there where that little opening is. But Boboslurpers all collapsing on them now. Emilian a little bit hurt, trying to find an angle with that LH1. He's going to throw that sonar nade, going to get a little bit of a pings up. Looks like they found Palma. Q taking a lot of damage from fire there. And they might need to slow down and kind of reset a little bit. But Cyborg jumping into all 3 of them. Cyborg wants to get really aggro, and he ends up paying for it as he ends up going down. But Palma is able to find the pick onto Q, and Nagiri getting Cyborg's trade onto Petric. And I believe they're getting that hand res up now. There it goes, as Emilian is the last one, winning a 1v1 against Nagiri. But he's going to have to back up a little bit now as the rest of Boboslurpers is going to collapse on him. Cyborg with the dash, able to finish that off. And that is going to be it, I think, Dianic, for this first box.
From the looks of it, definitely 16 seconds till they're back, and the cash out's going to end any moment. They're going to be outside of the time when it comes to the steal. So the first cash out in this 3v3 is going to go to the side of Boboslapper. Yeah, again, proving they're so good at controlling this. They just have it. They have a perfect plan, and you can tell their team communication is really on top today, because every single time there is something, a problem that they're faced with, they find a solution as a team, and they communicate through that problem. Here again, when we look at the last map, also on Burnout, they were faced with 2 teams trying to contest them, and they created the perfect pinch together. There again, they were contested and they found a solution together, and that makes that team so absolutely dangerous, because if they are not stopped anytime soon, they might find themselves very soon in the final. Again, I have high hopes for Boboslapper. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say my mind right here.
Yeah, and they're in a pretty good spot right now to guarantee themselves into that finale spot, but it still could be anybody's game. I mean, this is the finals. We could see reverse sweep coming through from Skywalkers here. All it takes is just one flip doing this cash box. Also, Cyborg putting in some insane work with Dash still. I mean, there was a lot of people coming into this, myself included, that was a little bit skeptical on how much Dash was going to be used, and I thought that we were going to see a lot more Invis. But Cyborg really kind of proving that that one less dash shard isn't going to stop him from playing so aggressively and playing with so much crazy movement. And rocking that new V9S skin, which actually looks insanely good. I love the retro 70s sci-fi theme. I love the way that V9S skin works.
So you also looking at the style of these opponents, which I appreciate that. Style can sometimes definitely win you the games, but the one thing that is also going to win you games is when you get yourself that control of the cash out. Now Bobo's they do struggle a little bit with their offensive takes. Sometimes they're not quite able to convert a steal and an actual steal and then able to keep it. That just comes down because they're great at defending. Their attacking side is something that really struggles or has struggled over the last cycle. The difference is, can they make it right now here? Palmer will find the first one, quick and easy. Cyborg one, maybe the second. My god, that was a quick one. Never mind. Boboslurper, they've definitely looked at their mistakes and fixed them for the second cycle, because that attack was absolutely beautiful. We must also say, Skywalkers, why did Q find themselves all alone downstairs? That help from Emilian and Patrick just came a tiny bit too late.
Yeah, and Cyborg with the crazy target transfer too. Crazy shots coming at him. But yeah, I completely agree. Q kind of find himself a little bit out of position there, and they ended up paying for it. But there's still some time to come back in and try to fight for this. This is suspended structures, though, and it's pretty tough to come up and fight into that, especially when you got Palma with that KS, though, really able to kind of dictate. Oh, no! That is tragic. Emilian setting up that gateway ends up going down through Invis, actually, as they were able to peak where he was kind of running just a little bit too early. But it looks like they did get that body, but now they are really, really low on time here, Dianic.
Absolutely. I mean, look at the time is ticking away. Cube may find Cyborg, but it is a 2v3. They gotta go for that steal. They can't really go around and just play with the game. And look at it. We can see Boboslurper already standing still because the time has passed. The round's over. Team Boboslurper get the golden ticket into stage number 3 cash out. They'll be waiting. They'll be spectating. They'll be talking. While every other team, well, they're gonna have to go for stage 2 if they want to find themselves into that final stage. My god, it was a quick game. It was an interesting game. The one thing to say, Skywalkers, I need a little bit more synergy from them. But I want to bring Jerry back into this conversation because we all of us have put our points onto Bulbasaur. But fair enough, they did come out here. But Skywalkers, what can they do differently to get themselves into that third stage, Jerry?
We keep asking questions of Skywalkers, don't we? And they did so well to get here, but let's be honest. It was exactly what Boboslurpers wanted, wasn't it? And coming into suspended structures, the team that wins that first vault fight and just keeps control is always going to have some kind of level. Moving on to the light for this 3 versus 3 makes a bit more sense. You know, the medium isn't going to help you as much on those attacks, particularly unless you get yourself in a good defensive position.